a couple coolers in the back. Yeah, I'm taking a ride up to Woodman's Market in Kenosha this morning. It's going to rain this afternoon, so I think it's a good excuse to get a good fuel run on this thing. Make sure the tablet's working good and everything else with the new whatever. And one tire that's just a tick low, but it's the right front that's had a slow leak ever since I've put these tires on it, but that's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. It's at 55 psi right now, and it's only 65 right now outside. It'll warm up and it'll be fine. The others are all low 60s, so a little low, but not terrible. I think today, I'm pretty sure, I haven't looked yet, but I'm pretty sure I got the ride video filmed yesterday. I got my test ride video uploading right now. We'll see how that goes and whatnot. I see the Monk. This thing is vibrating like crazy. That may or may not work. We'll see. I may need something a little bit more secure, because you may or may not. I just see the way that this camera is videoing, bouncing. Hopefully I don't go flying. Because I think this Insta360 is heavier than the GoPro I used to run on here was. But anyway, that's why I'm doing this today. I can play with it and see if it's any good. I think today we're going to go ahead and talk about it's an old short bed extended cab for sale. Bed's in kind of rough shape, but I think today we're going to go ahead and talk about the best places to get eats and drinks, because I don't know if you can see, but I got a little bit extra here. There's more of me to love, if you will. I see the Professional Monkey started his videos last night. The first one came up yesterday, which was where to stay, and he, just to double down on what he said yesterday, stay where you're going to party at. Stay where you're going to end the day. If you're going to be wild and crazy and out of control, once you decide to partake of the devil's nectar, do not jump on the motorcycle. You will end up in jail. You will not pass go. You will not get $200. In fact, it'll cost you, 10, 12 grand by the time it's all said and done, between lawyers and everything else. So don't do it. And it froze again. Alright, well. Alright, it tells me I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this. I'll have to reboot this thing at some point. Let me unhook my dongle. I might just have to go to the old one that's not as data heavy, if you will. It's a slower protocol, so yeah. But as for he basically talked. There's really no such thing as a bad campground around Sturgis. It's just exactly what are you looking for. I might go ahead and just stop at the Loves and air that tire up real quick, just because I need to reboot this thing anyway. So need to swap. Choose Bluetooth. You. Let me hook you back up to the OBD port. Because this one, at least, it doesn't register, so this only updates probably once a second versus the old one, which would update like, 5 or 6 times a second. But, it's fine. This is fine. Yeah, it's hooked up, and we're getting TAC at least. I don't know if I'll get all the other data, because it may have to... No, I'm not getting any of the special stuff yet. I'll have to reboot the truck, or restart the truck, but that's not a big deal. Getting back to what I was talking about, there's no such thing as a bad campground. He mentioned a lot of the Hilton hotels in the area where, for Sturgis, now keep in mind, this is for Sturgis, relatively cheap. Even Deadwood, I think, was like right around $500 a night, which for Deadwood standards is pretty cheap. I would have been expecting, when he gave prices for Deadwood, for it to be in the neighborhood of $800 to $1,000 a night. Most of them were in the $500 range. But yeah, just getting back to that, stay where you're going to end the day. Don't. Once you start drinking, just park that thing, because nothing good is going to come from getting a DUI. So getting back to the topic today, I think eating and drinking is a good idea. And just like I said, top tip: don't get a DUI. It's going to be expensive and painful, because you're going to lose at least one full day of the rally, if not more, sitting in the clinker. As for places to eat and drink, let's start in Sturgis, of course. Of course, I'm staying at the Chip. I think I've mentioned that before. I leave 6 weeks from Friday. My arrival at the Chip will be sometime between 1 and 2 o'clock local time, hopefully, on Monday, August the 3rd, I think. I think it's August the 3rd. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I'm going to leave out Friday. I've mentioned this before. Friday the 31st, probably. Outside chance I leave Thursday the 30th, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, something like that. Do some something with the old man and the brother, maybe. If the brother doesn't have summer school or something, and then, maybe play golf with them in the morning, and then finish up around noon and go ahead and hit it and try to get through. The only bad thing there is I'll have to go around 294, which is tolls. Probably go ahead, if I go that, stop at the same grocery store I'm going to stop at today, just because I'll run up through Chicago, get some stuff, get some beer and some sausage and stuff, and then just somewhere between Wisconsin Dells and Toma, go ahead and just run the generator and boondock for the night if it's not going to be raining. And then Friday the 31st, get into my camp spot for the night, which will be the Grand Falls Casino in Larchmont, Iowa. And we'll just hook up to the RV park, unload the bike, because that's why I'm going to spend 3 nights there. I hope to get a little bit of riding in that area, in that Sioux Falls area, over those day and a half or so that I'll have there, all day Saturday, and then probably Sunday morning as well. Get back to camp Sunday sometime, probably around 1 o'clock. Reload the bike, clean up, dump my tanks, and then so we'll probably get to the casino Friday night, have a quick session and dinner Friday night. Saturday I'll be on the bike basically all day. Sunday get back to camp somewhat reasonable. Clean up, dump my tanks, reload the bike, of course. Well, reload the bike, dump my tanks, have everything ready to roll out, 5:30, 6 o'clock on the morning of August the 3rd, and then just kind of make as good a time getting across to the chip as I possibly can. Toll road. As for okay, back to the topic of the video, eating and drinking in Sturgis. Let's start at my home base at the chip. Outside the gates of the chip, you've got the big engine bars, which is free to enter. There's a bunch of stuff in what they call crossroads. You have a free bar, the big engine. You have a bike shop, a tattoo parlor is normally out there. There's normally a chiropractor out there. There's the IV people there. If you have a raging hangover and you need help to kind of fight it, they can normally pump you full of chemicals to get you feeling a little bit not like death. Top tip, the first couple days you're in the area, don't hit it super hard. I mean, if you're not the kind of guy that can, pound down 8 or 10, drinks in a night and then function the next morning, don't do it. Start with just 1 or 2 and build yourself up to having the, whatever. But, there's normally, at the big engine, there's normally somewhat cheap eats. Like beers are normally going to be like $2.50 to $3 a piece, at least during, special times. Hot dogs, you can probably find $2, $2.50 hot dogs and stuff, so cheap. Then the next place you have is around the amphitheater at the chip. You've got a Domino's pizza, where it's going to be like, a large pizza is going to cost like probably $25. And not only that, if you're staying at the chip, there's a guy on a side-by-side normally during the day that runs around with a small collection, I guess you could say, pepperoni, sausage, and cheese, which, hey, there's no kids here. Why are you having cheese pizza? But just going back to around the amphitheater. I'm going to stop up here at the Loves, by the way. Just hopefully I'll get all of the chip stuff done. But just to double back on all the stuff around the chip, around the amphitheater, you've got the Domino's, you've got a bunch of Fat Man Fair food like, turkey legs and French fries and, like elephant ears. One of my favorite things to get at the back corner, like when you come in from the South 40 area, there's a little, fair trailer that has, and my normal get there is the Bloomin' Onion, which is really good. That's what I get a lot of times over there. Yeah, I'm going to come in here to go to the truck side to get free air because I ain't paying for it. But you've got a taco stand. You've got a burger joint. You've got some sort of a more formal sit-down type restaurant. A couple years ago, it was a steakhouse. I think the last couple years, like last 2 or 3 years, it's been like an Italian type place. I forget what it was last year, but it's basically center stage at the back. Just to the right of the stage is what they call Stage West Cafe. And that's where you can kind of pre-buy your meal plans for the week if you want. They do steaks. They do prime rib a couple times a week. They do, biker approved type breakfast like biscuits and gravy and corned beef hash and that kind of stuff. You've got there's also a hot leather store in the amphitheater, and above that is Club Chip, where they have girls dancing on poles. It is glorious. Yes, they have clothes on. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me rephrase. They have some clothes on. They're in like bikinis and stuff, and yeah, it's a good time. And you get a good view of the concerts. And they kind of shut down while the bands are playing, but yeah. All right, so that's basically everything with the chip itself. I'm going to air this tire up here real quick, and he's parking over there. I'm going to air this tire up really quick, and then I will pick this up again with just outside the chip. So just continuing on what we were talking about around the chip, but not at Sturgis, just outside, you've got a couple other campgrounds that'll have somewhat cheap eats available. Like you'll have what do they call it? It was right across the street from, was it Thunderdome? I think it was called the Thunderdome. It's right outside of the entrance to Lamphere and Glencoe, and across the street from the Steel Pony, which are all decent campgrounds. I think I mentioned that before. Steel Pony has full hookups RV sites if you're into that. Glencoe, I believe, has some full hookup sites. Lamphere, I'm not sure about. I think they do, but I could be wrong. You've got, the Stump Beer Garden is right there too. It's just across the street from the Thunderdome, on the northeast corner, at that light, because you got a gas station at the northwest corner, then the Thunderdome. The northeast corner, you've got the Stump, which is where you pick up the bus, or the bus, I should say, which will take you to Deadwood. It'll take you. You can go to Deadwood, Spearfish, and basically all the campgrounds in and around Sturgis. You've got Thunderdome normally has a breakfast buffet. In addition, it's, for what it is, it's overpriced. It's not bad, but it's overpriced. And then they have, beer gardens. They'll have bands playing there every night too. Who, I don't know. But it's not a bad place to see a free concert. I think they're normally free. And then grab a drink. Drinks are going to be expensive pretty much everywhere. Don't be surprised if a beer costs you, $8, $10. You can find some spots with cheaper stuff, but those are the exceptions, not the rules. But yeah, there's a bar out front, a bar and a pool out front that's free access at the Steel Pony. Now the last couple years they've been kind of not doing the party stuff like they used to. Like 2 years ago, they had a girl that was doing the fire dancing stuff, and it was a good show. I think the professional monk, he put that up on his website or his channel in 24, and that was fun. But you got Glencoe. Glencoe is entertainment enough, especially going down the alley, and let's leave it at that. You can get I think it's an 8-hour pass for like $20 or something like that, where you get full access to the campground for like 8 hours, and you can just explore the gloriousness that is Glencoe. Then out past Bear Butte, you've got the Full Throttle Saloon. I forget all the acts. I know there's a couple of bands I might put down in a subtitle who's playing at the Throttle this year. Bands are still kind of being announced. So yeah, that's a thing. As for there's food trucks around the back of the in the stage area, I guess you could say, of the Throttle. So there's places there to get a drink real quick and a bite to eat. It's going to be pricey. Don't be surprised if a beer, burger, and fries cost you $20. In addition to the camp store, at the general store on the north end of the property that's free to the public, there's a camp store that has a breakfast buffet every morning. It's not bad. I think it's like $20 for all you can eat. It wasn't terrible. So that's pretty much everything that's outside of the city limits. Back towards town, let's start with one of my favorite places to grab breakfast every morning, and that's at the high school. I will be there at least once or twice, assuming they're doing it this year. I'm assuming they will. They did it last year. Sturgis Brown High School every year puts on a breakfast buffet. I mean, it's cafeteria grade stuff. It's not gourmet, but it's, for and I think last year breakfast was like $18, a shower was like $10, and you basically gym showers. And then if you wanted a combo, it was like $25 with breakfast and a shower. It runs daily. I think it starts the Thursday before the rally and goes basically till the Thursday, the second. So it'll start the 6th and go to the 13th, 14th, whatever that is. I think it's the 13th. And it normally runs between like 6 and 10 or 6 and 12 or something like that in the morning. The Knuckle normally has a breakfast buffet at their place, and the bar is normally open, so if you want a Bloody Mary, you can get a Bloody Mary. In addition, there's food trucks all over downtown Sturgis, so you can find everything. One of the favorite places that I found to grab something quick is a taco truck that I believe is normally right next to the Iron Horse, called Sweeto Burrito. They will have everything from burritos and tacos that will put a smile on your face to one that will light your ass up. So don't make the mistake of telling them you want it spicy, because they will set your ass on fire. But yeah, basically all the bars downtown will have nightly free concerts as well during the rally. Exactly who's playing where, check websites, check all that stuff. But the Iron Horse normally does a deal where for like $100 you get a VIP area to watch the show from that's normally up top, plus open bar. But if you just want to sit down in the pit, that's free entry. That doesn't cost you nothing. Or I should say stand in the pit. It says there's really no seating. The Knuckle will have bands. One-Eyed Jack's normally has bands. All the bars that you've heard of downtown, good places to grab a drink. Yet again, pace yourself, man. Make sure you are sober when you get back on the bike to go back to wherever you're setting up camp for the night, or your home bases. And if not, like I said, the bus, Jones Bus, I believe they do have Ubers in that area now. Don't get a DUI. Other places, Rapid City, there's a bunch of bars and restaurants that you can think of in Rapid or in Spearfish. Basically, all the chains will be there. Around the rally to exit 55, there's beer tubs, there's food trucks, both the main part of the rally to exit 55, plus the vendor park across the street. Top tip, check out both. My recommendation, if you're going to do both, park in the vendor park, unless you're going to get something possibly for the bike in the main area. Park in the vendor park. Or do the main rally at exit 55 first, then go to the vendor park. That way you're not trying to make, that's even better, because you're not trying to make a left in and a left out, I should say, to get over to the rally at exit 55. Go to the main parking lot first, is what I'm saying. They also will have a shuttle that'll run between the main part and the vendor park that'll be going basically at all hours of the day when the rally is open. Basically like 8 to 8 or 8 to 10 or whatever it is. And there's food trucks at both, so you'll find something to eat there. Another place you'll probably see me stopping at least once, in the parking lot of the Pilot Truck Stop of exit 55, is a little family sit-down restaurant. It used to be called the Windmill. I forget what it's called now. But it's decent food. If you're going to be stopping there over there to get gas anyway before you go to wherever you're riding for the day, it's a good place to stop off. One of my favorite meals going a little further out is in Keystone. It is at the Powder House Lodge. The Powder House Lodge, you can legitimately spend anywhere between $20 and probably on just food between $20 and $60, depending on what you get. They have, you can do it on the cheap and have, a burger, kebabs, like a game kebab. You can get, they've got everything you can imagine. And then for dinner, they do, every night during the rally, they do beef prime rib and buffalo prime rib. I'm probably going to go there at least twice and have one of each. Had the beef one night and the buffalo one night. Arguably, it's the best prime rib you're going to find in South Dakota. Back down towards downtown Keystone, Main Street has all sorts of bars and stuff around there. A good place to grab a drink real quick is the Red Garter. It's a neat place to go into and at least take a look at it. I'm going to spend, that's the other reason I'm going to spend so much time there this year. I'm going to try to spend more time in a lot of the bars in and around there, just because, you know, why not? Right down the road from Keystone is Hill City. That's where you'll find the Alpine Inn. The Alpine Inn is going to be one of the cheapest meals you're going to have, cheapest good meals you'll have. And they normally do a set menu. I think last year, you know, it's a bacon wrap filet, baked potato, and a salad. You go in there and you basically, your only question is, big or little, how do you want it cooked? What dressing do you want on your salad? And how do you want your baked potato? That's it. And like the 9-ounce filet is going to cost you like probably $25, $28, something like that. I think that's about what I think it was under 30 last year with a soda. In addition, they have a lot. You know, it's a German restaurant the rest of the year, so they have their full German beer selection, which is outstanding. Not too far away from there is Deadwood. All of Main Street in Deadwood. Check it out. You know, all the casinos are in Deadwood. You know, stop by, play for a little bit, and have you a cocktail while you're there. No, the beers are not free while you're gambling, so don't expect that. You've got you've got Cadillac Jacks. You've got the Silverado Franklin. You've got I can't remember all of them. There's like probably 4 or 5 legitimate casinos in Deadwood. Pretty much all of them have a couple at least blackjack tables. I think Cadillac Jacks. There's a couple that actually have like craps, roulette, other stuff. In addition, there's like 2 or 3 that have legitimate poker rooms as well. So that's a thing. So I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about with eating and drinking. I guess snack-wise, if you're out and about and you just want something light, another good place to grab a quick snack, if you're heading out towards Devil's Tower, is a trading post out there, just outside of the gates. In fact, remember, I think there's a KOA campground right across the street from it, and they have really good ice cream at their little snack stand. In fact, my mouth is watering just thinking about it right now. In addition, you can get a lot of the Devil's Tower souvenirs there and stuff. I got a little buffalo for the now 4-year-old niece, I think, and she was over at the house yesterday with Nana and Poppy, and with that's what they call my mom and dad, Nana and Poppy, and. It's got a hole in it. It's like, yeah. So my mom said she'd fix it. I said, why didn't you bring it so Nana could fix it? Nana's the good sewer. And I didn't think about it. Yeah, I figured that. But yeah, anyway, I think that's pretty much all with eating and drinking I need to talk about. I might, as we keep going further on, I might do another session of this and go over something else. Exactly what that'll be, I don't know yet. Yeah, welcome to hell. This time of day it won't be bad, but you know, in probably around 5 hours, this stretch, both directions, is going to be an absolute and complete nightmare because nobody wants to pay the Skyway toll. It's like, I don't know, $8-10 now, I think. I don't remember what it is. It's a lot. I know in a truck it's like 30. But anyway, guys, are you going? Are you getting excited? When are you leaving? Like I said, the countdown is on. I am, I think, right around 40 days now from leaving. I'm hoping next weekend to take the camper and do something. Exactly what, I don't know yet. Probably just, not too far. Probably just like Elkhart or something like that. Just kind of do a shakedown on it. And then I got a couple baseball tournaments I'm probably going to work where I might take the camper for the weekend and just tell the assigner, hey, if you have me work Sunday, give me somewhere where I could park my RV and my truck at and do that. But anyway, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Y'all be safe. Shiny side up, greasy side down, all that good stuff. And I might record what I still got left. I think I got the ride video finally recorded yesterday. This is eating and drinking. Tips and tricks. I might film that later. Like, you know, ways to just absolutely and completely destroy your time at Sturgis. Here's your preview. Number 1 is getting a Dewey. Don't do it. Don't ride drunk. And not just because the DUI factor. Depending on where you at, if you ride drunk, you can not only kill yourself, you can kill somebody else pretty easily, especially if you're in and around the Black Hills National Forest and Custer State Park. Because, yeah, you will, you could hurt somebody really bad. And other tips is things like, and we'll go over this more in depth, have rain gear with you all the time. Have everything covered and wear sunscreen. I'm not saying you got to be in full leathers. That's not what I'm saying. But the more skin you have colored, goddamn, the more skin you have covered, the less places the sun's going to have to hit you directly. And, you know, just a long sleeve t-shirt will do you a bunch of good. If you don't wear a full face helmet, have both tinted and clears with you at all times. And riders know what I'm talking about. That's sunglasses, you know, glasses, eye protection, be it goggles or glasses. But yeah, anyway, that's all I got. We'll see you guys later. That billboard is so stupid. Yeah, in February, yeah, gas was, right around $3 a gallon. Yeah, because of the shit when I ran, it's at $4.50 right now, but it's coming down.